My bad, y'all. Your girl was, oh my goodness, I had to get it together. What is up, party people? And hello, my friends. It's your girl, Welcome to China, and welcome to my channel. You guys know the drill. If you're new here, my name is Welcome to China. I talk about good things, I talk about bad things, I talk about happy things. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit more sadder things today, you guys. We are going to be talking about the case. It's not necessarily a case yet, but the missing Gabby Petito. Now, a lot of people may have heard of Gabby Petito before. A lot of people may not have. To me, I'm pretty sure a majority of young people, middle-aged people, old people know who Gabby Petito is. So we're going to go ahead and get into this story. She has been missing. She's a YouTuber. Her boyfriend is now missing. It's a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to go ahead and let some people go ahead and get in. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that share. Got my Coca-Cola ready. This is going to be a longer stream, you guys, because we got to get into some things. Hello, MGN, my love. I'm having a great day. I hope you're having a great day, too. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. So who is Gabby Petito? Now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all so we can go ahead and get a feel for who she is. She's a beautiful young lady. She's 22 years old. She's a YouTuber. Now, she is from New York City, okay? Or Upper State New York, a part of New York. Don't be mad at me if I got it wrong. This has been all over, okay? She's from New York City, and she went on to a cross-country van life tour. You know how people do. People like to get in the van and go live like nomads across the country. So her and her fiance at the time, / boyfriend, however you want to say, they go out and embark on a trip. It comes out on September 11th, around then, that her parents put out a missing persons report that she is missing. Then her boyfriend goes missing, not speaking, but we're going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to let you guys know who is Gabby. So I'm going to go ahead and pull a video so you guys can go ahead and get a feel better than me sitting here talking. But she has a video that is basically depicting her van life journey with her boyfriend. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen to this page so we can go ahead and get a feel for Gabby and who she is before we get into the story. I'm about to break down this full story, so make sure you guys bring your eyes, your ears, and your patience. So we about to get into it. So this is her YouTube channel, Nomadic Static, a glimpse into our van adventure after our cross-country trip in our little Nissan Sentra. We both decided to downsize and travel full time, but trying to fit everything for 2 people in a tiny little trunk of a car, also spending way too much on gas and food and Airbnb and a road to take. We quickly realized we had to come up with a solution if we wanted to continue traveling nomadically. Like I said, they want to live in remote areas. People do this all the time. A simple 2012 Ford Transit Connect, utilizing space with a unique designs and features, creating space for both artistic expression, distance hiking. Thank you so much for watching. Follow Gabby, follow Brian. We're going to get into that in a minute, you guys. But the interesting thing is, that's how it all begun. Now, Gabby wasn't famous by any means. She had 100,000 on Instagram, so she was an influencer-esque, but she was literally working at a juice bar and said, hey, her and her fiancé are going to go out and do this thing. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to go through the whole video. Obviously, it's 8 minutes, a little long, but I'm going to go ahead and skip through the important parts so we can get a feel for who is Gabby, okay? Go ahead, hit that thumbs up. Let's get into it.
Gabby Petito never goes outside. Was it sunset?
I'm gonna make some yogurt. Looking to steal some of his granola. All the chocolate melted.
I know, it's a river of chocolate. Be cautious.
You can't keep chocolate in Utah. Not in July. Or in a clear plastic container
Yeah.
that is always in the sun.
I was in the tent this morning, yeah, that's why.
I love the band.
So, we are right outside Capitol Reef right now in a free dispersed camp spot. And we've been lucky so far at all the places we've stayed, but I'd say this is one of the best so far. Since we left New York, I've only set up my hammock once, and now we're all the way in Utah, and luckily enough, I was able to set up my hammock in one of these trees.
And we're kind of like in the desert.
Very few trees.
All right, y'all. So I know that that was a little bit long. I know that that was a little bit tedious, but for those who are still here, I think it's important to, paint a picture of who Gabby is. She was living a life nomadically with her boyfriend. Obviously, they were beginning their YouTube channel. She had a smaller following at the time, but overnight, she started to blow up after this unfortunate event. So now we're going to ask, who is Brian Laundrie? Now, I'm a YouTube lurker. I'm an Instagram lurker as well. So I said, why not? Let's go ahead and look at her YouTube channel, and let's look at her Instagram as well as her boyfriend's Instagram, her fiance, excuse me, because he is soon going to be, I'm sure, allegedly, a suspect. I don't know. I'm not going to speak too soon, but I think that we get what they're putting down here. So let's go ahead and pull Miss Gabby's Instagram right here so we can get a feel for who she is. I told you guys she has like 100,000. This is her right now, you guys. She's at 580K, which is crazy. So this is Gabby Petito again. She a white girl. She go out. She's into nature. She looks like one of my old coworkers. I'm not going to lie. So this makes me really sad, but that's her. Literally, that's Gabby. All right. I hate that I have to run, but I certainly finish when I get back home. Thanks for this video. Of course, I will see you later. We're going to get into it. It will be here. So this is Gabby Petito right here. This is her Instagram page. I'm going to get into this later because it seems as if her boyfriend, fiance, whomever has been changing her captions. But since we're here, let's go ahead and get into her man, Bizarre Design, Brian Laundrie. Now, obviously, the person closest to her is Brian. He's going to be considered to be a suspect, but right now he is just a person of interest, to be exact. So let's go ahead and look at his Instagram right here. I mean, normal, obviously they take pictures in the same places. His captions are fairly long, so we're not going to read into it, but he definitely seems like, trying to take it simple type of guy. Not my type of dude, but take a hike every day. Bug bites are better than being brainwashed by the media. So he's one of those, trying to be aware, not to get social media into our heads. So that's Brian Laundrie. But the next thing we're going to go ahead and get into is when Gabby was last seen. Now, it has been a timeline of her being around, being in the areas, but since she has gone ghost at the end last week of August, no one has truly seen or heard from Gabby. Now, the last place that Gabby was seen was at the Fairfield Inn Suites in Utah. But before we get that far, I'm going to go ahead and break down this timeline of when she was last seen. And the news channel did a really good job of breaking this down for us. So we're going to watch this and check this out because it breaks down all of the timelines with her being on Instagram and then going ghost all of a sudden. So now we're going to go ahead and get into the timeline of Gabby Petito. Let's get into it.
More than 2,000 miles. And while clues to Gabby's whereabouts may be inside that van, investigators are also sifting through a dozen social media posts. They're documenting the couple's stops and along their trip. Tonight, we wanted to take a closer look at the digital trail to see what adds up and what doesn't. July 2nd, 2021, Brian and Gabby leave Blue Point, New York in a converted camper van. The start to their dream road trip to national parks in Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming.
Gabby Petito never goes outside.
By July 4th, they each post on Instagram from Monument Rocks National Landmark in Kansas. Brian writes, "Downsizing our life to fit into this itty-bitty van was the best decision we've ever made." The couple continues west. By July 10th, Gabby and Brian have visited the Great Sand Dunes National Park. July 11th, another post from Gabby, still at Great Sand Dunes. Her caption, "Last day in Colorado, now to Utah." They resurface on Instagram July 16th, saying they are at Zion National Park in Utah.
You can't keep chocolate in Utah. Not in July.
Gabby writes, "The past 2 nights camping in Zion have been so cool, literally." Brian posts too, sharing photos from Zion the next 3 days. On July 18th, he writes, "It's a lot easier walking up a river holding someone's hand than walking alone," tagging Gabby. July 21st, Gabby updates her Instagram from Bryce Canyon National Park, documenting the couple's last steps, Zion to Cedar Breaks to Bryce. The next 3 days filled with hiking photos from Bryce Canyon. Brian writes on July 23rd, "Thank you, Gabby, for putting up with me through Utah, a topographic playground." They keep moving, now Mystic Hot Springs in Utah, then checking in on July 30th and 31st from Canyonlands National Park.
So we are right outside Capitol Reef right now in a free dispersed camp spot.
Then the couple that posts nearly every day goes off the grid for 13 days. August 12th is a key date in the timeline. 2 things happen. Gabby posts on Instagram referencing a calm Monday morning hike in Arches National Park. But August 12th is a Thursday. The post could signal that they've been there the entire week. The couple also gets into a fight in Moab, Utah. Police are called, and body camera video shows Gabby in tears.
Some days I have really bad OCD.
All right, y'all. So this part in specific is something we're going to get into very shortly, is when Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito actually got pulled over after a domestic dispute that someone called in. They found them going 30 miles per hour over the speed limit in Utah and said that they saw Gabby smack Brian and him grab her face and push her away. Now we're going to break down and watch that full body cam video. It's about an hour long in a second. We're not going to watch the full hour, but I'm going to show you guys that so you can see what they're referring to here.
The post could signal that they've been there the entire week. The couple also gets into a fight in Moab, Utah. Police are called, and body camera video shows Gabby in tears.
Some days I have really bad OCD.
Mercedes gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her.
Laundrie tells police that traveling together has created an emotional strain between them. The couple is separated for the night. Petito in the van. Laundrie goes to a hotel. No charges are filed. Brian is back on Instagram the next day, August 13th, with a lengthy post about destructive economic practices and living with less. It's his last post. 5 more days of silence. Then on August 19th, an 8-minute YouTube video about Gabby and Brian's cross-country trip is posted to their account, Nomadic Static.
And we're kind of like in the desert.
Maybe a few trees.
Then Gabby posts on Instagram, but something is different. It is her first post of the trip without a location. Gabby's father, Joe Petito, FaceTimes with his daughter 2 days later on August 21st. She says she's in Salt Lake City, and her dad notices no red flags. August 25th, Gabby's final Instagram post. No location, just this caption, Happy Halloween. That day is also the last day Gabby's family says they heard from her. A phone call saying that she was in Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. 5 days later, August 30th, a text from Gabby's phone to her mother. No service in Yosemite. 2 days later, September 1st, Brian Laundrie returns to his parents' home in Northport, Florida in the van, a 40-hour drive from Yosemite. Gabby is not with him. Her family reports her missing September 11th.
So that's what I said, y'all. They found her missing. Found her missing. They reported her missing, on September 11th. So that has been as long as Gabby Petito has been missing. Now, last seen, it's been going on 2.5, 3 weeks. Shout out to Future's post. I just found your channel. Subscribe. Hope they find Gabby. I hope they find Gabby too. I would love for this to be a happy ending. I'm just hoping she's out there lost somewhere. But we know how these things go, y'all. I'm a big true crime watcher. Brian is definitely looking suspect, okay? Now that I broke down who is Gabby, who's Brian, all that fun stuff, let's go ahead and get into the deep timeline, all right? Now, this is from CNN. This is legitimate. Timeline of missing 22-year-old Gabby Petito. Excuse CNN. They have so many pop-ups on here, but we're going to go ahead and get into it. Now, this is going to speak about Brian Laundrie, the boyfriend, because he just, for fiance, whomever, at this point, because he just pops up showing back up with no Gabby. How do we think this is even okay? I'm just asking. Like, we go on vacation together and you show up and you're not there anymore. Like, that is obviously we're gonna ask what happened. Like, yes, exactly. He's definitely suspect. So suspect. All right. So it says Laundrie returned to the pair's Northport, Florida home earlier this month. Now, Gabby was living in Northport, Florida with Brian Laundrie's parents and Brian, okay? She was not in New York. She was living in Florida with Brian and his parents, okay? So that's why this is the couple's home. Petito's family and attorneys have pleaded with Laundrie and his family to cooperate and help them bring the girl home. Attorney for Laundrie said in a statement on Tuesday, remaining in the background at this juncture and will have no further comment. So he's saying that the Laundrie family saying that they're going to remain in the background and have no further comment. So Petito is white, 5'5", 110, blonde hair, blue eyes, several tattoos, called the FBI. So June 2021, Northport Police Chief Garrison said Thursday morning briefing, Petito and Laundrie, who Garrison described as the woman's fiance, embarked on a cross-country trip in June. We know this. June passed, still posting. August 12th. Now, this is what we're going to go ahead and get into right now. The Moab, Utah police ended up pulling over Brian and Gabby during a domestic dispute of some kind, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and pull up this video now so we can go ahead and look at the video with the cops. Now, like I said, this video is about an hour long. It's very, very detailed, but it is really interesting to watch. So again, I said, bring your patience today. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. It took me a minute to put this together. Okay, I lost my voice, but we're going to go ahead and get into it, okay? So let's go ahead and see here. I wonder why law enforcement wasn't watching his home. How did he get away? It's something very, very weird to it and something weird to me with the family. I'm going to get into what the sister said. The sister ended up speaking out, saying that she wants Gabby to be found as well. But something to me is still just odd about the whole situation. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. We're going to look at August 12th. Now, this is before Gabby was missing. Her and her man, Brian Laundrie, they got into some type of dispute. As I said a little bit earlier, they said she slapped him, and something ended up happening between the two to the point where somebody in Utah, they're in Utah. So the people in Utah, the Utah people, they are very, they got the Mormons out there. So they're not playing about no domestic disputes. But they ended up letting Gabby go. The police ended up empathizing with her. I can tell by the video, but we're going to get into it a little bit deeper. It's just interesting that they ended up getting pulled over. So it's like, was Brian, being weird? Was he trying to hurt her? She blamed it on herself. It was just odd that this all happened. But again, this happens with couples. So I'm not going to say I'm surprised. If Brian was black, he would already be in jail. Brian would already be a suspect and he would be sitting in that chair and he would be more than a person of interest. I agree. I want to cover more stories about black people. I cover stories about some white folks. It depends. I'm kind of getting more into the true crime realm too. But this story in particular is just interesting because she's a YouTuber. So I didn't even look at it from, looking at the color per se. But let's get into it. So this has been circulating for a long time, you guys. A long time. Like a couple of days. All of the news outlets have had this. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So this is the full video of the interrogation. Gabby and Brian end up getting separated. It's crazy. So let's get into this. Of course, they're going to give me another ad. I'm sorry, you guys. All right.
Okay, turn off your engine. Go ahead and set your keys on the dash for me. All right. What's your guys' names?
Gabby.
Brian. Gabby, Brian. Okay. What's going on? How come you're crying?
I'm just sorry. We've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues.
It was a long day. We were camping yesterday and camping got the south flies and stuff. I'm sorry I hit the bump there.
I was distracting him from driving. I'm sorry.
Can I get you to step out of the vehicle for me, man?
Yeah.
Just hang tight right there. Do you mind if I take your keys and just put them on your hood?
You got it, buddy. I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you. Oh, no, you're fine. I'm going to go ahead and close your door. Okay? Why don't you come over here? SO229. I have the female that was on the passenger seat separated from the male. Keys are on the hood. You want to tell me what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just some days I have really bad OCD, and
Okay.
I was just cleaning and straightening up back of the van before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean, because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I just get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him. I guess my vibe is like I hear him be like in a bad mood. And I was just saying, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I've just been really stressed. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I used to work at an organic juice bar, but I just quit my job.
Okay.
I was a nutritionist. That's
Oh,
what
okay.
that's my
That's
job.
cool.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country, and I'm trying to start a blog. I
Okay.
have a blog and stuff. So I've been building my website. So I've just been really stressed, and he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it. So that's kind of been like a, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. We've just been fighting all morning, and.
So I have to say right here, I empathize with Gabby. I have very bad anxiety myself. I've just started my medication journey. I feel better. But going on any cross-country trip with a couple, better yet, being together, let's talk about it. For 2 months, back to back, me and my man get mad at each other going to Vegas for 4 days. So, like, I can only imagine how tempers flare. Obviously, Gabby says she has some type of anxiety, OCD. Like, I would flare up all the time and freak out. So if you don't have a partner or somebody that you're with that doesn't understand you, then that's a big red flag. Now, we're going to get deeper into it. Futures Past says her best friend came forward, said he was very jealous and possessive. Okay. He even took her license out of her wallet. So we can tell Brian Laundrie it's some laundry, whatever. We about to throw the towel and give up on his ass. So let's get deeper into it. Obviously, Gabby's upset. The officers were nice, obviously, to Gabby. But it's just interesting how they saw her on August 12th and all this started to unfold. So, man, social media, y'all, is a something. I have bad anxiety too. I know your pain. Sorry to hear that you have it. I have been on some SSRIs for my anxiety, some serotonin inhibitors, and it has helped me so much. I empathize with you, girl. So we're going to get into this. Gabby, we're going to find you, girl. Let's see.
And he would have let me in the car before. And then
Why wouldn't you let you in the car?
work I was doing on my computer this morning.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I used to work at an organic juice bar, but I just quit my job.
Okay.
I was a nutritionist.
Also, something about this that I want to point out is that she's about to say that Brian Laundrie, her boyfriend, locked her out of the car because she was freaking out. Why would you do that to a young lady in general, freaking out or not? Y'all are engulfed. Y'all agreed. Y'all got this van. Y'all are doing this together. Why are you locking her out of the car when she's mentally breaking down in a strange place, Utah or not? It just shows that he does not know how to deal or be with someone who struggles with, some mental issues. We all deal with them. I have anxiety too, so I empathize with her. If my boyfriend locked me out of the car, I flip shit, let me tell you. And I'm going to leave it at that. But it's just interesting that he locks her out of the car until she calms down. Like, what kind of man are you? Anyway, let's watch.
That's my job.
Cool.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country, and I'm trying to start a blog. I have a blog and stuff. So I've been building my website. So I've just been really stressed, and he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it. So that's kind of been like a, I don't know. He's like down there. I don't know. We've just been fighting all morning, and he would have let me in the car before. And then
Why wouldn't you let you in the car? Because
told
of
me
your OCD?
He told me I needed to calm down. Yeah, but I'm perfectly calm. I'm calm all the time, and he really stresses me out. And this is a rough morning.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I sit you down in the back seat of my car? You're not in any trouble, okay? I'm not going to be putting handcuffs on you. You obviously don't have any weapons. I'm going to get you into the air conditioning, let you take a breath, relax a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk to you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
All righty.
I'm on my own. But we just had a little disagreement there. And the disagreement was just that she was getting a little worked up, and I was saying, oh, it's okay, thank you so much.
As long as it's cool, that's good.
So it was just more of a disagreement, and I just wanted to say,
What was the disagreement about?
It was, I wouldn't even call it disagreement. It was just that I'm dirty, and I can't change being dirty. Like, I got dirty feet, I got sand on my flip-flops and stuff like that. It was that we were at the coffee shop for so long because we were there from 9 to 3. So I guess there's a few little things, little relationships. I don't know if you're in a relationship, but I'm sure you're.
I've been married for over 5 years now. So.
There's a lot of little things. Right?
Yeah, I can go.
And
I get it.
We weren't physical before the point where I said, all right, let's just take a breather and like walk away for a minute. And I'll lock the van up and I'll go for a walk this way, and you can go walk that way in the block. You know, there's that what is it called, moonflower? Right, yeah, nice areas. You can go either way. It's all shaded. So let's go for a little walk and breathe and come back. Just breathe. Yeah, we're happy with it. But I'm not upset with her. She got worked up, and she had her phone in her hand and her keys and everything. And she wanted, not her keys, like her rings, her phone. And I was holding on to the keys because I didn't want to go anywhere. And my big fear is.
All right, y'all. So right now we're going to get into the part where the police basically tell Gabby, you got to let us know. It's really up to you how you want to move forward, but we are going to make you guys separate. We're not going to charge you with battery, domestic assault, whatever. It seems like she was just freaking out, and they, coined it to be a mental thing. Okay? Yes. Futures, we're going to get into that. Talking about the hitchhikers, the TikToks as well. Yep, them picking them up. We're going to get into it. I know what you mean. We're going to get into that in a second. All right, let's finish up with Gabby right here, okay?
My skin feels dry, ashy.
Sorry, y'all. We got to add. Hold on.
I understand that this can feel like it's a nightmare, but you're coming out as the golden flower on top of it, okay? So, you're going to be taking the van tonight, and you're going to go somewhere else. I am going to get him lined up with a hotel room tonight. I want you guys to stay away from each other for both of you guys' sanity. From what you told me and what he told me, you guys have a bunch of little things that are building up, and finally the little string that you guys were tight walking on broke tonight. Does that sound about right? So, I just want everybody to breathe, get the chance away from each other, go eat a meal, talk to your parents, whatever it is you got to do. In here? Yeah. Just told me so. So, like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Hold on. This is Officer Robbins. Oh.
Game-changing lotion with nourishing moisture and no sticky feel? Too good to be true? No way. The game-changing Nivea Breathable.
Being the major breaker in all of this, I think that will help you guys, especially tomorrow when you guys meet up. So she does have a couple of messages for you. One, she said she loved you. She's looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Two, don't forget to cell phone charger.
Yeah, good. He watched me fumble around the entire 3 laps, and I'm trying to find one.
Yeah, find one? Find one. Okay. The other thing is I don't want you guys to contact each other.
No,
okay, unless world
when he said that she gonna text me or whatever, I was gonna send her a message. Said, please don't message me, but I love you. But
tonight,
don't do anything. Yeah.
And she's passing on her love and saying goodnight and stuff like that. All that. Okay.
So that was pretty much it. I mean, it seemed like a little disturbance between, a young white couple who had no problems, too much to say, but we know that it was much really deeper than that. I see a lot of you guys, Astro Star, saying they seen him in a store. Yes, there's been some sightings in between. Let's get back into our timeline. If you're new here, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Continue to support my channel. Putting in a lot of work to pull this stuff up for y'all, but we'll get into it, okay? So that was August 12th. Last week of August. Petito's family told police that they were last in contact with her in the last week of August. In a Thursday news conference, Petito's family attorney said the family's last communication with her was August 30th. So keep that in mind, August 30th. On Friday, staffers shared a timeline of events. August 24th, Petito FaceTimed her mother and told her she was leaving Utah and headed to Teton Ranch in Wyoming. August 25th, there were multiple texts between Petito and her mother. The young woman's family believed that she was in Tetons in this date. August 27th, there were more texts between Petito and her mother. August 30th, Petito's family receives a last text, no service in Yosemite, however you say that. And they don't think that text is from her. Now, what I am going to do is pull another video. You guys know it's a lot of information. It's a lot of stuff here. But the interesting thing was that Brian disappeared. We got that. But that it seems like the last text didn't even seem like it came from Gabby to begin with. It already seems like it was already, kind of staged. And the last time that they saw or heard from her, seen her, the several days was that she stayed at the Fairfield Inn in Utah, okay? Now, it hasn't been a for sure thing. It's for sure that she stayed there, but we don't know where she went in between and she made it to Wyoming because her location was turned off, as we found out, okay? So we're going to go ahead and look at this right here.
Thanks, Scott. Fox 13 News has confirmed a new development in the case of missing 22-year-old Gabby Petito. A family spokesperson says Gabby was last seen alive at the Fairfield Inn and Suites on Admiral Byrd Road on August 24th.
That hotel is just west of the Salt Lake City International Airport, and we went there last night. Staff wouldn't speak to us on camera, but they did say the FBI and police officers have visited the hotel recently. They also tell us Gabby stayed there for more than a day. And this morning, the search for Gabby is now focused on Wyoming. That's where she and Brian reportedly were when she last spoke to her mother.
Her stepfather is there now and spoke to Fox News about the efforts to find Gabby.
Now, the police are doing everything they can, and that's all we can rely on right now is that all these law enforcement agencies are working together collectively, and they are doing their best to find out what happened, where she is.
And this morning, we're also learning more about an interaction Gabby and Brian Laundrie had with Moab police. A police report indicates it happened on August 12th.
A bystander saw a fight between the two and called police. Fox 13's John Franke explains what's in that report.
Is 4 pages long. No criminal charges were filed through this, but it gives us a glimpse into the couple's relationship in the days before Gabby vanished. This is the police report. 2 officers responded to what's described as a domestic problem near the moon.
So what they're going to explain here is that the police basically, chalked this up to be a domestic problem. And between the 12th and 24th, it almost seemed like we don't know where she was at. She was at the hotel for, seems like probably a couple days, but we don't know. But let them break it down a little bit for us.
Moonflower Co-op in downtown Moab. One officer wrote, "It wasn't clear, but I believe it was reported the male had been observed to have assaulted the female." Officers spotted the couple's van near the entrance to Arches National Park. They were clocked driving 30 miles per hour over the speed limit. When the couple stopped, an argument took place. One officer wrote, "The male tried to create distance by telling Gabby to go take a walk and calm down. She didn't want to be separated from the male and began slapping him. He grabbed her face and pushed her back." The other officer who interviewed Brian wrote, "Brian said Gabrielle, thinking he was going to leave her in Moab without a ride, went to slap him. As Gabrielle started to swing, Brian pushed her away to avoid the slap." They also described Gabby's demeanor, saying at no point did Gabby stop crying, breathing heavily, or compose a sentence without needing to wipe away tears. They added, Brian did not show any signs he may be a victim of battered.
Something interesting about that is I'm almost like I wish they filed it as something domestic, or they really separated the two, or to the point where Gabby would have to go home or forcibly make them separate, because this time in between is so weird. That time, I just wish they did a little bit more. If they were another color, maybe if they were somebody else, but I almost just wish the police did more than separate them, because Brian could be a monster. Brendito H says we can all confirm Gabby was with Brian / alive after August 27th. Gabby and Brian very likely separated 29th or 30 based on the bumper stickers they added to their van after the 27th. I did hear about that as well, that the bumper stickers changed and some odd things happened to her Instagram after. I don't know how they lasted long in such a small van. My husband and I would have gotten cranky. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Let's act like we're not people here, and we're going to be vlogging. We're going to be trying to make something of ourselves. We don't have a lot of money. And on top of that, we're going to sit here and act like things won't happen with unstable people, possibly like Brian. Now, the interesting thing that we're going to get into now is Brian going missing. So lo and behold, the man who was with Gabby, the only person who was with her this whole time, the only person who had contact with her in person, goes missing after he decides not to speak out. Now, what does that look like? Now we're really getting into the nitty-gritty of it, okay? They were saying it was some things going on. It was some odd stuff. It's a lot of hearsay, you guys. So we're not going to get too much into the hearsay. We're going to stick to the facts. If roles were reversed, Gabby fled the day after assaulting Brian, she would have been called stunning and brave. Interesting. That is true. It's almost like people could have said she should have left. I don't know. Brian seems like the type who would never be physical but snap, and then things happen. Let's go ahead and get into Brian missing. I'm going to go ahead and pull this news article so it breaks it down quick. I'm pulling a lot of stories, you guys, so it's better than me over here yelling at y'all, okay? Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Hit that thumbs up. We're going to continue to follow the story. Hit that Cash App. Send me something. I don't know. You guys, this is a lot of hard work I'm putting in. We're going to find Gabby, okay? Let's get into it. All right. I'm passionate about this. This is so wild. I've been following this for days. All right, so Brian's been missing since Tuesday. All right. Let's look.
There on the property just before 7 o'clock tonight. And now this breaking news, the vehicles there on the property just before 7 o'clock tonight. And now this breaking news just moments ago, authorities say Brian is also missing. He was named a person of interest, remember, several days ago. So let's get straight out to the scene. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is there. He's been there outside the Brian Laundrie's home in Northport all afternoon and has seen all this activity, Evan, over the last couple of hours. But it's been a bit of a strange night. You finally have a few answers here. I know the family's attorney says that's the big shocker for us. They don't know where Brian is either.
Yeah, and that's right. His attorney released a short statement saying that FBI agents were here at the Laundrie family home to get information from the family in an attempt to help find Brian. We have also confirmed tonight that Brian has not been heard from by family since Tuesday. So now we're 3 days from that. Both he and Gabby are now missing.
So Brian is now missing. Interesting. Brian goes missing on Tuesday. So it's been about 5 days now. So Brian just leaves the house and no one knows where he's going. Usually parents, family members, one person will become an ally with the suspect or person of interest. Somebody know where Brian is. Please stop playing with me. Let's stop bullshitting here. I wonder since when Brian's whereabouts are unknown. Brian probably been dipped off somewhere. He probably somewhere in Mexico or something. Stop playing. Gabby was supposed to meet a friend on the 29th. Interesting. Okay, so Gabby has not been showing up to anything, okay? Because the cops said they knew where he was. I hope the weasel didn't. Exactly. Brian seems like a punk that would do something like that. I hope this has not become a missing persons case that goes on forever, y'all. Please. All right. Now let's get into more of Brian.
Missing both of them. Here's what it looked like as officers were going in and out of the home. They got here about 6:30. They left about 8:50 or so. The home had been surrounded all day by media and angry residents shouting at the family to speak up and for Brian to say what he knows about why Gabby hasn't been heard from since August 25th. We now know Brian was not at home. The lawyer, Stephen Bertolino of New York, says the FBI was inside helping to collect property to help find Brian. They were not discussing the missing persons case of Gabby Petito. There are searches of Gabby going on in the Grand Teton area of Wyoming, though they have not been able to zero in the search crews there.
Bro, I'm over here like, yo, are we really going to sit here like Brian don't have nothing to do with this? Why were the police so soft with Brian? This is the one white man in America that police shouldn't have been soft with, was Brian Laundrie's ass. Now they let him get away. Brian could have got away before this. You know, fuck it. Let Brian go ahead and run off, and they both missing. Brian came back home for days, and y'all gonna tell me that y'all wouldn't even make him a suspect? We hoping he gonna come home. She gonna come home. Are you serious? Stop playing. Thank you, Layla. Stop playing. Why didn't the FBI keep watch on Brian? They could have did they just let Brian go. That's what I'm saying. Who in Brian's family in Florida, because Brian's from Florida, who in Brian's family know the police in Florida and the FBI? Somebody doing something over here. Why the family took so long? Exactly. Start arresting the family. You guys remember the case of Tristan Bailey, the 14-year-old that got killed by her classmate? His mama became a suspect real quick. She was washing his jeans. They don't have evidence. I know, that's true. Could have turned up in charge, put him in jail. Right, Layla? Right, Layla? I think they could have never known his whereabouts. Who knows, you guys? This is some crazy shh. We almost done with this video. Then we're going to go ahead and get into the TikToks, okay? Of people saying that they saw Brian. Lord, the TikToks.
Brian got back to Florida to here in Northport September 1st after she was last heard from on the 25th. He was in her van but did not come back with her. They'd been seen on police body cam video on the 12th in Utah after an argument led to a police investigation there. Nobody was arrested. No charges were filed. Brian admitted to police officers there that you saw on the body cam footage that the time they had spent together was weighing on their relationship and leading to arguments. This case, of course,
the time that they spent together was weighing on each other and led to arguments. Again, couples live together, argue, date out and day in. I understand it. People can't even go on vacations for a month, 2 weeks to visit family. You think that this was going smooth? Stop it. Seems like Brian allegedly looked like he lost his temper. Yeah, they could have maybe got him for stealing the van. Who knows? But that was just very interesting to me. Now, you guys, and I know a couple people were saying, let's talk about these TikToks. I did pull up the TikToks and the sightings of Brian. Now, we're going to go ahead and start with Miss Miranda Baker. She has become an advocate for finding Gabby, which has been cool. At first, I thought this girl may have been a clout chaser, but allegedly this girl, Miranda, you know the white folks be out hiking. No hate, no hate. But she said that she picked up Brian Laundrie and he offered her and her man $200 to hitchhike to the next city over. So this is Miranda. We're going to go through and watch all her TikToks. And she started to work with the FBI to see if they got any help. But this started to help because that's why we do these cases, for people to get the face out there. And this girl, Miranda, ended up saying, hey, I picked up this man. We were hitchhiking. So let's get into this.
Hi, my name is Miranda Baker, and on August 29th, my boyfriend and I picked up Brian at Grand Teton National Park at 5:30 at night at Coulter Bay. I'm hoping this can help someone identify him because I saw him from TikTok, which then made me call the authorities, and my boyfriend and I have been in contact with a bunch of different people to help piece together different parts of this case. But we picked him up at Coulter Bay, like I said, at 5:30. He approached us asking us.
Want to know what's funny, you guys? I didn't think it was necessarily a red flag that Brian offered the money. I would have think somebody was desperate and I would have took the money. I would have been like, give me the money. All right, cool. 10 miles for me to risk my life. Clearly, he could have been a serial killer. He should have gave her $2,000 for risking her life. But that could have been the getaway. That Jackson Bay, wherever he didn't want to go, she gonna get into it. That could have been the getaway. What if she drove Brian Laundrie to get away after whatever happened with him and Gabby? Someone offered me to see, y'all are right. But that's just interesting. In Brazil, where I live, a serial killer hid in the forest after pursuit of the police. More than 200 cops, 25 days to capture him. Interesting. So again, he can be all types of places, okay? I would have took the money too. I had a Glock on me exactly. So we know how it goes. But we don't go ahead and get into it because what if this girl helped him get away? But it's funny. I didn't know people even pick up hitchhikers anymore. Lord Jesus. Okay, let's get into it.
For a ride because he needed to go to Jackson, which we were going to Jackson that night. So I said, hop in. He hops in the back of my Jeep. We then, proceeded to make small talk. But before he came in the car, he offered to pay us like $200 to give him a ride, like 10 miles. So that was kind of weird. He then told us he's been camping for multiple days without his fiance. He did say he had a fiance and that she was working on their social media page back at their van. Then once in conversation I brought up, we're going to Jackson. He freaked out. He's like, nope, I need to get out right now. Pull over. So we pulled over at the Jackson Dam.
So you think it's a possibility Brian hiked far? Something was weird about this because she's going to say at the end of this video that Brian started to act odd when they were starting to get to the destination, like he didn't want to go there. So it's something weird. I think it's a possibility too. Shoot. All right. I'm done talking. Let's finish this. She got a couple videos on here. I didn't get through them all, so let's see.
Which I don't know if you know Teton Park, but it's not very far from Coulter Bay. And if this does reach people, I can post pictures of, exactly where we were. We picked him up and the whole route or whatever, and screenshots of the timestamps. We dropped him off at 6:09 p.m. on August 29th. He kind of hurried out of the car, and then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go find someone else to, hitchhike. And we're like, okay. It was a weird situation. So when we picked him up, he was wearing a backpack. He had a long sleeve pants, hiking boots, and he had scruff. But he didn't look dirty. For someone who was camping for multiple days, he didn't look dirty. He didn't smell dirty. So that part was kind of weird. And I'm just really hoping that they find her. And this helps someone remember seeing him or, something like that. Hi, my name. To clarify a few things that people are confused on still, when he asked to ride, he has to go to Jackson, which if you're familiar with the area, a lot of people call Jackson Hole Jackson. So that's why I said yes to giving him a ride. But you think any good hiker would know south and north. We were going south out of the park when he said he was camping north. He had told us that him and Gabby were not camping on a regulated campsite through the national park, that they were camping basically out in the middle of nowhere along Snake River. This is key information. He said that he had hiked for days along Snake River, but when looking at his backpack, it wasn't full, and he said all he had was a tarp to sleep on, which you think if you're going camping for days on end, you'd want food and a tent, and he had none of that. And like I said, he looked clean and didn't smell bad. To clarify a few things that people are confused on still, when he asked to ride, he has to go to.
So I did see that video, and we're going to get to that one next, I think. Bernardo, yeah, I did see that she was reliable, and she showed the messages of her texting her mom. This is wild. So that means he was being weird, saying she probably in a river. Lord, don't y'all say that. Come on now. This is really gonna make me cry. I follow true crime cases after the fact, but this shit is fucking with me. Oh, this is fucking with me. All right.
So this is a view of the whole journey with Brian. So that's the top at the park at Coulter Bay, and then we drove him to this dam right here. Then at the dam, we dropped him off at this little turnout, and he said he was going to walk across the street to the parking lot, which was full of people, to continue hitchhiking. and look for a ride because he freaked out when I said Jackson Hole. He said we needed to pull over, even though Jackson and Jackson Hole are the same thing. It's the same town itself. This is the text I sent to my mom at 6:09 right when he got out of the car saying I was okay because she was freaking out.
My only thing, okay, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to know this. So please in the comments, let me know this. This text to her mom, wouldn't she have a thread with her mother? I mean, or maybe she like screened it up and put herself in front of it. Not dead, back to his wife. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's sketchy, but the only thing was the thread where it looked like this the first text she ever sent to her mother ever in her life. You know how the top of the thread starts there? It didn't seem like it was no more text, that it could be fake looking, but they say it checks out. But that was the only thing to me.
Hi, my name's Miranda.
That was the only thing to me that seemed a little bit odd. But anyway, I'll let her finish this part.
So this is a view of the whole journey with Brian. So that's the top at the needed to pull over, even though Jackson and Jackson Hole are the same thing. It's the same town itself. This is the text I sent to my mom at 6:09 right when he got out of the car saying I was okay because she was freaking out. This is at the park or at the pickup location, and we were taking a shower. We then walked across, and our car was parked on the left side of the picture, and he talked to us like right in the middle. And he was talking to my boyfriend the entire time, but like I was the one actually talking, and he was like not frantic, and he was very nice, very polite to us. So this is a view of the whole journey with Brian. I just want to reiterate again, this is going to be my last video. I just want to reiterate again, everything I am telling you guys, I've already told the FBI, I've told the detectives, I am actively in contact with these people who are on the case. So everything I have told you, they do know. I'm just putting this out here because I want to reach people who have maybe like seen him that day or have been in contact with him before, after my boyfriend were in contact with him. So this is when we picked him up. The exact time is 5:44. This is to my mom. We picked up a hitchhiker. She's obviously not very happy with me, and
Okay, there we go. Thank you. See, now it starts to unravel. And I understand and empathize. Whenever people tell these stories, more comes out, or, you don't put in things, people ask questions. I'm sure TikTok asked all the questions that I had. Is that, hey, where's this thread? Now she got a thread with her and her mama. Now we can see the thread with her and her mom. I'm like, people still pick up hitchhikers, thank God. Like, that's why I'm like, this is so odd, but maybe it was God in it. Something was in the mix, okay? All right, let's look at it real quick.
Me, and I now understand. So some common questions are, did he have a phone? No, he did not have a phone. My boyfriend and I did not see him pull out a hitchhiker. She's obviously not very happy with me, and I now understand. So some common questions are, did he have a phone? No, he did not have a phone. My boyfriend and I did not see him pull out a phone at all during this time. Another thing is when he freaked out about Jackson. He has to go to Jackson. During the time I said we're going to Jackson Hole. Once I said Jackson Hole, he became agitated. He seemed like he needs to get out. He was kind of antsy, and that's when things got weird. But that's when we pulled over, and I just want to reiterate again, everything I am telling you. This is going to be my last video. I've said everything I need to say and what happened during my encounter with Brian. I just want to make one last video with everything in it because I know people are going out there to help search for her. So I just want all the maps and the facts in one place. Okay, this is the text I sent my mom when we dropped him off. This just has like the date in it and the timestamp. So we dropped him off at 6:09. But as you can see, we picked him up at 5:54. This is off my mom's because
Okay, y'all, we'll take a little bit brief intermission. Hi is saying hi. Ciao. Someone recap. We're talking about the case of Gabby Petito. She's a YouTuber influencer who has been missing for weeks now. Her boyfriend, who she embarked on this trip with as well, is missing too, but he is a person of interest. So go back and watch if you guys have not been here from the beginning. I'm Welcome to China. Hit that subscribe button. I see Bernardo SP subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe. Support my channel. Send me a cash app, whatever y'all want to do. We're getting into this Gabby Petito case. I hate when shit happens to our girls, okay? It's something weird about this shit, bro. All right. Now, this girl, the TikToker, is going to break down her encounter with Brian Laundrie. She said, one last time. Now, let's listen good. We got one more person, you guys, who had an encounter with Brian Laundrie as well. Let's get into it.
This is going to be my last video. I've said everything I need to say and what happened during my encounter with Brian. I just want to make one last video with everything in it because I know people are going out there to help search for her. So I just want all the maps and the facts in one place. Okay, this is a text I sent my mom when we dropped him off. This just has like the date in it and the timestamp. So we dropped him off at 6:09. But as you can see, we picked him up at 5:54. This is off my mom's because my texts don't go back this far. And then, you know, it says we dropped him off at 6:09. So this is where we picked him up. We picked him up in Coulter Bay and we dropped him off by this dam. He was hitchhiking. There was no van. Gabby was not with him. It was just him. So this is what the dam looked like. We dropped him off at the turnout because this is going south. If you're going like this, he then said, I'm going to get out. I'm going to hitchhike, find a different ride. He said he was going to go across to the parking lot over here, which was filled with a bunch of people. Again, this is on August 29th at 6:09. So this is a map of Grand Teton National Park during our...
He said he was going to hitchhike and find another ride. I wonder if he ever found another ride. I wonder if that person's going to come out and say, who knows?
He said, well, before he got in the car, he said, I wanted to go to Jackson. So this is Jackson. Like right there, you can see it says Jackson, south of the park, right? Jackson Hole is commonly referred to as well. So I said, you know what? We're going to Jackson. Hop in. You know, he was very nice. He offered us $200 to give him this ride. And we picked him up. You can see here, Coulter Bay right there. It's like pretty north of the park. And he said he was hiking along Snake River, which is up here, and it kind of like goes down a little bit. And he said he was gone for multiple days, and he had left his fiance, never called her by her name, back at their campsite, which he said they camped in a dispersed campsite, so it's not a regulated campsite. And he was...
It's like you're hiking with your fiance. Don't say her name, fine. Why would you leave her remotely? It's just like, are you the most responsible, inconsiderate boyfriend / fiance in the world? Brian Laundrie, the way he's acting, is the absolute worst person to embark on a cross-country trip with for you two ever. Talking about he hitchhiking. It don't seem like he's coming back, do it? Shit. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong. Do it look like he coming back? Do it sound like he coming back? I got to take what she said back one more time because the small talk matters. Did he say he embarked and left her in a remote area where nobody can find? It's like he damn near told her she was dead then. I do not believe this is a murder case, right, China? Odd messages with her mom, maybe deleted other ones. It's just something weird. I don't know, you guys. I'm not sure. I do not believe this is a murder case. Why not, John B? Why not? Let's talk about it. He had $200 but told the cops he didn't have money for a hotel room. Come on, Brian. They still had to have some money to go on this trip. Stop it. Stop.
He was gone for multiple days without her, and he was sleeping on a tarp. I just want to reiterate again, everything I am telling you guys, this is going to be my last video. I've said everything. Jackson Hole is commonly referred to as well. So I said, you know what? We're going to Jackson. Hop in. You know, he was very nice. He offered us $200 to give him this ride. And we picked him up. You can see here, Coulter Bay right there. It's like pretty north of the park. And he said he was hiking along Snake River, which is up here, and it kind of like goes down a little bit. And he said he was gone for multiple days, and he had left his fiance, never called her by her name, back at their campsite, which he said they camped in a dispersed campsite, so it's not a regulated campsite. And he was gone for multiple days without her, and he was sleeping on a tarp. When we picked him up, he had a backpack, long sleeves, a hat on, and scruff. He wasn't clean shaved, and he had hiking boots on, but he didn't look dirty. The only thing dirty about him were his shoes, and he was very nice.
Interesting. You guys see clickbait on Netflix? Let me know. I'm going to talk about it maybe later tonight or tomorrow. If this gives clickbait, you know, people do weird stuff. People do clout. People do weird stuff. But I did see that it was not linked to the other Moab murders or some weird murders that were going on in Utah. I did see that I wasn't connected. I can pull it in a minute, but it's just something weird about this. It's just something very odd. The internet is a very powerful place. Why would he mention Gabby if he was alone? It's just something weird. Exactly. Yep, I watched clickbait. Such good. So good. It's giving some type of clickbait-esque too. It's so weird. Even if this is not a no murder case, Brian knows something. Where is she, Brian?
Very nice during the trip, you know, very calm. We were making small talk. He was agitated when I said Jackson Hole, okay? So we were going south to Jackson. There's no other place in the Tetons called Jackson. Why he became agitated, I don't know. He just was very set on getting out of the car, which is why we pulled out by the dam, and that's why he got out. I don't know why he wanted to get out so bad. I don't know what other place he wanted to go to because there's only one Jackson. So that's all I have, and I hope she's returned safely and they find her safe.
So that is what the girl had to say about this. It's just all odd, you guys. She seems odd. I want to see the full screenshot. I hate when they do the TikTok, when they do on the green screen. Show me the screenshot, post them to your Instagram, baby girl. Okay, because I need to see some more from this. These TikTok sleuths and these crack cases and Reddits, I don't give a damn about this. Come on, police. Come on, FBI. What are we doing here? I don't trust the police on ruling murders out. That's true. They half-ass. Maybe he thought that they would say something to throw people off. That's what I'm saying. Brian, as long as he doesn't talk to us and now that he's missing, that's why I'm so agitated that they did not question him at least once. I know that they needed some facts. I know that they needed some evidence, but God, jeez. We need to admit police has acted as most poorly as Brian. Exactly. No effort at all. Blatant. Exactly. Clearly. Agreed. It is. We agree with you, John B. Blatant corruption. Something, Brian's family knew somebody. Gabby was living with them. This wasn't happening in New York. Brian wasn't a guest at Gabby's house. Gabby was a guest in Brian's city in Florida, okay? So they had something going on, something odd. Obviously, they said, your girlfriend's not here, remote, 5'5", 100-pound white girl. You will leave her out in the wilderness? Somebody's going to say something unless Brian gave them an answer to their question. Nobody is going to let their son come home like, hey, your girlfriend's just left. It's not like he left her in California and LA. They went on a cross-country trip in a van. This Brian guy, do he have family in the police department? I don't know. More has to come out. It's just so weird. So now Hunter Lee, I would never leave a girl, period, okay? All right, y'all. So Hunter Lee is another man on TikTok. Now Hunter Lee looks like he's like a 60-year-old white dude. He's country. He's a chef. He ended up also believing that he had an interaction with Brian at the bar. Okay. Now I'm gonna let him break this down. I don't know if you guys seen this guy, but this is coming out as well. Now this guy never had a TikTok before. It don't look like he doing this for clout, but it was just interesting, the conversation. And I think that this is the power of getting these stories out there. Because you know this man was not looking on social media or using TikTok, but he did allegedly have an encounter with Brian Laundrie. So let's look at it. Him and his partner.
Remake my video. It seems like I had done enough TV, I would be good at this, but this is my first TikTok. This is in regards to the Brian Laundrie and Gabby, the missing girl. I had taken a trip the end of August from Louisiana up through Colorado and Montana and Wyoming. I picked a friend up at the Jackson Hole Airport on August 26th, Thursday, that morning. And we went through Jackson Hole. Then we went through the Tetons and Yellowstone. We came out the West Gate and we stayed at West Yellowstone, Montana for the evening. We went out to a restaurant that night called Bullwinkle's, and about 10 o'clock, we moved into the bar. There was us and another couple that we had met while we were eating dinner. We were discussing things, politics, guns, hunting, all the stuff you don't talk about in a bar. And there was a guy at the end of the bar that was just quiet. He was visibly bothered or mad, it looked like, when we came in. And I guess our conversation just kind of irritated that fact when he finally made a
He's like, they were bothered. He was bothered when we came in. And probably it's had something to do with the fact. I'm not taking away from this guy, but this is funny. They got this guy a Southern bumpkin, okay? We know which way he going. All the way to the right. All right. It seems like he gonna get into Brian Laundrie not liking his rightist talk. Obviously, it seems like Brian Laundrie is a liberal. He gives liberal. So it's funny that within all this, he hated to hear this conversation. But let me not speak too soon. I'll let him finish.
Made a comment, something about stupid Southerners and Republicans. And I kind of laughed and said, well, where are you from? Just quiet. He was visibly bothered or mad, it looked like, when we came in. And I guess our conversation just kind of irritated that fact when he finally made a comment, something about stupid Southerners and Republicans. And I kind of laughed and said, well, where are you from? And he said that he was from New York in a pretty strong New York accent, and said his name was Brian. And I said, as we laughed, I said, well, you picked an odd place, the middle of nowhere, a small town in Montana. What did you expect, that you weren't going to run into any conservatives or Republicans? Anyway, not much else was said. He made a couple of remarks and we went back to our conversation. It was just a creepy encounter. It was one of those situations where it was kind of one of those people. It was all.
So right here, Brian's not from New York. So that is a point. Again, I don't believe these people when they come out. So I already give the side eye. Again, we're going to share it. But it's like, I thought he was from Florida. They're saying, duh. I mean, Southern people might not know. I have a very New York accent. I know New Yorkers, they hail Trump out of, oh, Lord. Y'all funny. I don't know, but the man has one more video after this, so we'll let him finish. We're going to look at all sides, okay?
It's almost like he looked through you. I didn't notice him using a phone, things that the FBI have asked. We did notice that he had a backpack. We left about 11:50 and he was still there. My friend was visibly uncomfortable. She even made a comment on the way to the car about serial killers and kept watching behind us to make sure he wasn't following us. And I assured her that it wasn't an issue. I mean, I'm concealed carry. I was actually armed when we were in the bar. And we went to the hotel. We did talk about it on the way home. It was odd. In the last few days, though, we've watched the news and realized that was the guy. That was Brian, this girl's fiance. So we contacted the FBI. Both of us made reports to the FBI. And just kind of watching the news now and seeing where it goes. But that was our encounter. Okay, guys, I had to remake my video. It seems like I had done enough TV. I would be good at this.
So that's that. Sis page, looks pretty normal.
That's for everybody today.
Can you share a secret?
So, odd. Very odd, but that's from Chef Hunter Lee. Now, the last but not least thing we're going to go ahead and get into is the captions. Now, when Gabby first went missing last week, people were saying that, you know, Gabby's social media page, her Instagram went down. Now, it came out, the police, FBI, whomever said that it was because they were doing an investigation and taking down a lot of fake Gabby pages. You know, people are weird, love to create pages for clout. 100% not her. Gabby Petito's edited last Instagram posts were written by her boyfriend. Followers fear after she vanished on trip. So a lot of people who followed her on Instagram, again, I showed you guys, she has like almost 500K now, but she had like 100,000 at one point. You know, they could tell that she was her captions were very short. Like, you know, 5, 6, 7 word sentences. And Brian loved to explain, loved to talk about the institution, you know, loved to talk about America and what we're doing wrong. He was one of those type of guys. But it was interesting that people said that it seemed like some of his posts changed. So it said, some of the vlogger's recent Instagram posts from July 22nd say that they have been edited, fueling allegations that they have been tweaked or written by Laundrie. Now, I will say that it is edited on Instagram. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but it will say edited under some pictures. It says in the blogger's recent post, it seems like it's been edited, but there's no evidence snaps were edited or uploaded by her boyfriend. A snap uploaded to Gabby's Instagram account dated July 30th revealed his strange hiking habit. It said Laundrie hikes barefoot everywhere we go. If it were up to him, he wouldn't have on any shoes. Even if I was boiling in lava, da-da-da-da-dee. So they break down all of the posts here, but I'm a visual learner. I'm one of those. So I'm going to have to kind of get a visual for us to look at really quick. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. We're about to go ahead and get into the last thing with, you know, Brian and Gabby, because as of right now, we're still looking for, you know, Brian and Gabby, clearly. But something that I do want to see is, I want to re-pull up Gabby's Instagram page. Okay, let me see. Thank you guys for being patient. There's a lot of information I'm giving to y'all today. But anyway, let's get into it. All right, so this is Gabby's page right here. It says, yep, special place in hell if he actually did it. Exactly. If you look at his post, he was a fan of blood and gore and talked about death a lot. So he could just be one of those quiet weirdos. That's what I'm saying. He's odd. Yes, we're going to go back down onto his page as well. That's a good idea. He does like graphic design. It's just very odd. He's a weirdo, it looks like. You know, she has very light energy. He just looks like a dark, weird soul. So last picture from Gabby, happy Halloween. You know, this was when it had no caption. So who knows when this was taken, again, subjective. She doesn't do hashtags, they said as well. And also here, people are going to say these last posts do not have the location and it doesn't look like Gabby. Here it says we decided these are a long caption. This doesn't even say anything really. Like, I'm not going to read all this. It just doesn't scream Gabby. Gabby is very shorthanded with her creations. You know, hashtag live more with less, all that fun stuff. Her captions are like very small, you know, very straight to the point. Like you can just tell that this was not her writing almost. So that's something that I wanted to bring up before we go ahead and get into Brian's Instagram, because we know Brian is odd as well. So let's go ahead and look at his IG. All right. Oops, my bad, you guys. Here we go. So bizarre design. Whoever weirdos followed him, he got way more subscribed followers, but whatever. So him and Gabby embark on this new life. But if we go down, this is really Brian. This guy. This guy. This guy. This guy. He does art. Him and a nephew. when he had pink hair. You know, he's a weirdo. Like he's into this type of stuff. I'm not gonna say people are weird, but you know, like, you know, it's all graphics, but it gives me oddball a little bit. It does give me, you know, whatever. But people are all up in his. I would have turned off my captions, Brian, if you're still around and you hear this. Turn your shit off, bro. People are over here psycho. They blowing him up. This is wild. So that's the last things of Brian. A lot of cartoon pictures, weird demon stuff. I mean, guys, you know, some guys are into drawing shit like this, but huge static difference of who he was before. He's just kind of odd. Art. So this is his art. Looks like he makes like temp tattoos or something like that. It doesn't really say what he does for like work. I mean, he's just kind of like a creator, it looks like. And this was Gabby's idea, and he said, okay, I'll go. I don't really have shit else to do with my life. And he's going to try and become a YouTuber with his girlfriend. So that's really what it was kind of giving to me, which is fine, but it is just kind of weird. You're talking about white girl captions, quiet words. If you look at his post, blood and gore, yep, we talked about that. Quiet weirdos, demon stuff, no-goes. Yeah, we're good on that. It's just something very, again, odd about Brian's post. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the blood and the gore, so I'm always going to give it the side eye. But to me, you know, Brian definitely has something to do with this. It's very something odd about, you know, the situation. And I hope that, we get some more updates. So I'm going to leave you guys on this. The very last update of the day. Gabby is still not found. Brian is still not found. Brian's sister said that they want to find Gabby a couple of days ago. But, you know, Fox News has been covering this. So I'm going to pull this last video. It says, you know, Gabby's still missing. You know, Brian Laundrie's mom's confronted outside her home in Florida. You know, it's just obviously like something, you know, weird going on in this whole circumstance. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this for you guys one last time so we can go ahead and get into it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys are hitting that thumbs up. I appreciate everybody, you know, being so fluid in the comments and, you know, talking with each other. It is just really, really, it just sucks. Let me go ahead and pull this article for us right here. Gabby Petito missing. Brian Laundrie's mom confronted outside a Florida home. 2,500 acre nature reserve, roughly 5 miles. I don't think Gabby's anywhere near his home, honestly. Brian Laundrie's mother was spotted outside her home Sunday morning as Florida authorities resumed a search. Sorry, all these pop-ups. Gabby's been missing for a month. Her mother, Nicole, last reported speaking to her on the 25th. Florida authorities commenced a search. Laundrie 23 at the Carlton Reserve, 2,500 acres reserve located roughly 5 miles from Laundrie's home. Police visited Laundrie's home to gather clothing. Canine units tracked Laundrie. The search started on Sundays as officers in body armor reserve and prepared for possibly agitated encounter. Laundrie's family remained out of view Friday, but Roberta, Laundrie's mother, was spotted outside. Here we go. Let's look at this. I'm sorry, I want to see what this said real quick. The caption, hunt for Brian Laundrie deeper in the reserve. Honestly, you guys, I don't think Gabby's anywhere near the nature reserve. He would have to fly, drive back, do all that. And it's like they released the canines, the hounds, you know, TikToker posted the videos. We talked about that. So pretty much we literally went over everything. I'm stuffy today. I can't even really talk. But I wanted to get on here and talk about it, and we'll do updates as they go. You're welcome. Hi, you're welcome. Most likely it will go cold. I know it's one of those things. And it's sad because there's so much overwhelming evidence, of course. but they failed to use the evidence when they had the chance before he disappeared. All I see them doing is going down the trails, not the woods. It's kind of like, yo, it doesn't look like he's even doing anything. Look like they're even doing anything. Thank you. I found your channel, more videos. You have a great day. Thank you. Thank you, Futures Past. You guys, on that note, hit that subscribe button. I'm on my way to 1,500 subscribers. I talk about good things, bad things, happy things, and sad things, but this is for an awareness team today, you guys, okay? We're going to get into some more later. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. It's a sad thing. Ugh. It's very, very sad. What does it say? They found a video of the van parked on the 27th. It was released. Okay. Well, we're going to have to get into that later then. See, it's still more coming out and more unfolding, you guys. Oh, my God. Will they ever find the body? Oh, I don't know. You guys, this is so wild. Looking at Florida, it's a manhunt. Oh, duh, my dumbass. It's a manhunt for Brian. Yeah, Brian is gone. He's far. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up. I'll see you guys later. Bye.